What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode. This is episode number 20. We start today's stop by seeing that Dardai's injury he suffered in the draw against Dortmund is just a bruised shoulder and a 5-day one. And heading into our first game of today's episode, taking on the champions Bayern Munich away at the Allianz Arena. Just one win in our last 3 games. Yep, our great run of form has been ended courtesy of Augsburg and of course Borussia Dortmund. 4 points picked up from a possible 9 and now taking on champions away from home. Yeah, couldn't see us getting back to winning ways in this one. Even so, taking on Bayern Munich. Right now, they're in second place in the table right now. 5 points behind the leaders, league leaders Wolfsburg. However, they do have the game in hand. So I was thinking, if there was ever a time to face Bayern, it's probably right now. They're not in the best run of form of the season so far, and they're not in pole position either. So I was thinking, a possible chance for a scalp, a famous victory away in Munich. Well, 5 minutes in, we're a goal down. Yeah, 5 minutes in, Thomas Müller belts in the first, and already we trailed. And I mentioned it in the game against Dortmund after our 1-1 draw, where we got a point, but probably should have won it based on the stats. At the end of the day, we're just not quite at this level yet. Having said that, I have seen a bit of a shift in my mentality this season. I'm going at big teams now, and not just thinking, I'll take a point and I'll be really happy with it. Now, I'm really going at big teams and playing without fear. So despite trailing in the first 5 minutes, he had a golden chance just a few minutes afterwards. Manuel Neuer with a great double save though, first on Okugawa and then turning the corner onto the post as it was still 1-0. I'd played really well in the first half as well, to be fair. You know, standing up to the champions, not showing any fear, despite being a goal down early. We'd had the good chances, but Neuer was on the top of his game. Another great save there on Konstantin Schäfer's distance effort, as it was still 1-0. And then 6 minutes before the break, Kingsley Coman tore me apart down left-hand side, rolls it across, but Lewandowski denied at the near post by Ortega. So, pretty balanced first half, I thought. I thought I'd, stood up to Bayern quite well. And despite being the far weaker side and the big underdogs, I thought, you know what, I'm doing okay here. And as the second half began, I was thinking, alright, I've just seen Lewandowski's gone off, thank goodness for that, and I feel if I stay in attack mode, maybe in the second half, get an early chance, I could find a leveller and claim a big point away at the Allianz Arena. But Thomas Müller said no, again. Can you believe it? 3 minutes after the restart. And I talk about kickoff goals being so cool. This one won against me for the AI. Yeah, storming down left-hand side. Kingsley Coman causing me problems all game long. Literally could not stop him with Felix Agu. And the ball rolled across eventually. Danny Da Costa even. The ball rolled across eventually after Torre's strike deflected up in the air off Piper. Turned in by Müller, and what a goal it was. This guy has scored against me every single time I've faced Bayern Munich. Possible question marks on Ortega's goalkeeping, but to be fair, as Müller makes it too, Bayern were just flexing their muscles at this point. And after that, I kind of just lost my way a little bit. Well, it was 1-0, I was thinking there's still a chance, there's still time, but at 2-0, I felt as though that was a mountain too high for me to climb away at the Allianz. Bilal Torre, who came off the bench in the second half, makes it 3 rounds Ortega and slots it into the back of the net. It's 3, and that's how the game would finish. Yep, 3-0 Bayern Munich at the Allianz. At the end of the day, we're just not at this level yet. And, you'll see the stats come full time. Bayern deserved the win. I won't try and downplay that. But I didn't play too badly. I had some good chances, particularly, solely in the first half. But we came up against a better team. Simple as that. And after 2 defeats in our last 4 games, only 1 win in our last 4 games. Just 4 points picked up from a possible 12. Well, as you can see, we're still in the hunt. The gap on Mönchengladbach in 6th is 4. The gap on Leipzig is 6th. And the gap on 4th place Leverkusen is now 7. But the thing that's really hurting us is the goal difference right now. In the top 9 teams, we're the only side that has a negative goal difference. Yep, that's right. Every team above us in the Bundesliga right now has a positive goal difference. We're the only side with a negative one. So that could prove to be crucial because of how tight it is right now in the race for a European spot. Again, only 4 points behind Mönchengladbach, who are in love with 6th place. It could be settled on that, which means that if we are to break up the top 6, we'll need to do it by at least a single point. That could prove to be crucial come the end of this season. So, following the defeat to Bayern Munich and a tough run of form, just 1 win in 4, I was like, okay, alright, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Let's think of something positive we can do. And after a scouting update and an academy update to begin March here, our youth team's looking really good right now. I decided to promote Levin Schuster, who we picked up in the last episode, and as you can see, for the first time ever, we have a potential to be special youth player. Yeah, 2 really good goalkeepers in the academy. I was thinking Martin looked the best. But in the end, it's the new lad, Schuster, 18 years old, 6'4". And after Ortega shipped free against Dortmund, I was thinking, do you know what? I'm going to throw him into the first team. Because if there's ever a time to give your youngsters and your youth players game time and throw them in at the deep end, it's in the early seasons of an RTG. So I said to Ortega, standing captain, you haven't really done anything wrong, but this kid has the potential to be the next Manuel Neuer. So with that being the case, I've got to throw him in. I've got to give him the game time. So for our second game of today's episode, first one in March, Leverkusen away in 4th place right now. Huge game at the Stuttgart Arena. 1 win in 4. Schuster making his debut. And I was thinking, right, this is make or break here. Lose this game, 1 win in 5, and a big defeat to a team right now in the European place. Our chance of qualifying for Europe take a massive hit. But win it, and you just never know what could happen with momentum. And in the first half, not much to report. In the second half, very little as well. But we got 1 golden chance with a minute of normal time to go. And I love the celebrations. I talk about it before, you know, when they're warranted and when they're justified. They look brilliant. Florian Wirtz frustrated as Leverkusen concede late. With the final minute of normal time, Robin Hack steps in from the left, finds a bit of space and drills it in to give us the game winner. And this is why we said to Inter Milan, appreciate the offer, but he's going nowhere. A big game winner in the last minute of normal time. A 1-0 win over Leverkusen. I believe our first scalp of the series. And what a time to get it after just 1 win in 4 as well. And for Schuster as well, a clean sheet on his debut. Now, I'm going to downplay it because at the end of the day, he had very little to do in the game. Leverkusen took 1 shot and it was blocked. There was very little for him to do, but it's still a clean sheet regardless on his debut. And with 10 games to go, we now cut the gap on 4th, 5th and 6th to just 4 points. So we're still in this. Yes, poor run of form. Just 2 wins in our last 5 games. Having said that, we are keeping pace with the top 6. And again, it's so congested right now, you know, because I've only really been eyeing 6th place all season long. But you look at the teams above, you know, Leipzig and Mönchengladbach and Leverkusen, very, very tight right now. 4th place is still a possibility, you know, creeping into the Champions League. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's still a definite possibility. But if we're going to do it, we've got to get back to winning games consistently, not just every now and then, but consistently, like the form we had back in December and January. So 3rd and final game, FC Cologne away from home. They've got a glorious stadium. I love playing at this ground, and we take the lead through Jamie Llewellyn. Bit of a goal drought for Llewellyn, none in his last few games, but now back on the score sheet, 14th for the season. Don't think he's going to catch Lewandowski in the race to the Golden Boot, but a big one there breaks the deadlock, and we're in front away in Cologne. So 1-0 Arminia Bielefeld. We'd been the better team in the first half. We'd had some golden chances, just couldn't find a second and get a cushion as well. And later on in the first half, in stoppage time, waiting for that half-time whistle, it wasn't coming. Nordin beats Wagnerman, rolls it across, and Burkhardt finds Cologne's leveller. So frustrating. I've talked about it before, you know, goals right towards the end of the game, like you saw there with our winner against Leverkusen, coming to the final minute of normal time, but also goals right before half-time. They're so common in FIFA these days, and I don't know where the extra minutes came from. There was supposed to be no minutes of stoppage time whatsoever. The game continued, and Cologne capitalised. 1-1, they're back on level terms heading into the break, and in 12 minutes after the restart, Thielmann bangs in their second as they turn the game on its head and go from trailing by a goal to leading by 1. And I was thinking, okay, alright, big scalp against Leverkusen, and this is how we follow it up. Defeat against Cologne, who we should be beating comfortably based on the form book right now. Come on, cannot afford to have another loss in this game after just 2 wins in our last 5. And Jamie Llewellyn says, Gaffer, I hear ya. 69 minutes in, and after Schuster throws the ball out, we quickly go from one end to the other, and Llewellyn bags a brace as he gets back on the score sheet again. It's 2-2, and late on in the game, it was a great end, to be fair. Both teams were going all out, both teams going for the win and not settling for the point. It was end-to-end stuff. and Burkhardt, who scored their leveller, bangs in their third from just inside the area. Poor Schuster conceded 3, but couldn't do anything about the goals. And late on in the game, final minute of normal time, I just threw so many black shirts forward. We were totally exposed at the back, and after Nordin finds a bit of space in stoppage time, I was pushing, I was pressing, everyone was forward trying to find a leveller. At the other end, Cologne come on the offensive and get their 4th and a dagger. Final score at the Rhine Energy Stadion: Cologne 4, Bielefeld 2, and the big victory and scalp over Leverkusen is now a distant memory. 2 wins in our last 6 games. A really, really poor run of form. 7 points picked up from a possible 18. And if we stayed in good form like we had in December and January, we'd be in the top 4 right now. Instead, 9 games to go and the gap is still 4. Leipzig have now opened up a 7-point gap in the race for the Champions League. I don't think it gets to the top 4 now, but 4 points behind Leverkusen in 5th place. We still have a chance at Europa League and Europa Conference League, but if we don't go back to good form, it's going to go very quickly. But that will end today's episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode very soon.